So this is really interesting. I'm gonna mute this video. They just did a goofy little video here, demoing it. But they talked about at CES or GDC or GTC or something last year, NVIDIA was talking about using AI to improve the basically video quality of video calls due to bandwidth compression and things like that. And they are finally rolling out the software support for this. And they have a few different things coming on here. So this is called Vid2Vid Cameo, and it is using AI to make improvements to video calls. So one of the instances that they are showing is that they are centering your body position so that you're actually facing the person you're talking to, which gets a little weird, uncanny valley, but like the person is talking at an angle and it centers them so they're actually looking at the person they're talking to, which helps for scenarios where, like, you know, say you're talking into a phone, your camera is over here, but your screen's over here, so you're probably looking away from the camera to look at the screen, and this will center you back to looking at the camera, which is pretty interesting. Although, to be fair, you do need, of course, a RTX card for this, I believe. Although they're implementing it on the like, I think some video conferencing solutions will be able to implement it on their back end as well. So we'll see. But then they have a couple other features they're rolling out as well. So that's one feature, is using the AI to adjust your position, which this isn't the first time that they've done this. And in fact, Photoshop has rolled out some AI-based features that you can change your head tilt and the lighting angle and stuff like that as well. Then they have what is effectively Bitmoji generation that is tracked to your face without needing face tracking stuff, like just a basic webcam. It's tracking all of that to your character, which I think this AI avatar stuff will be very beneficial for those doing VTubing and things like that. So I am super excited to see the implications for that community and for that kind of technology. It's something that I've been looking into more and more. I've been trying to get feedback as to what software people are using and things like that. But it's also potentially used for scenarios where you have no bandwidth for video calls at all, but you still want a video representation. I don't see this taking on for that purpose. I say that keeping in mind that VTubing is a thing, so it could totally take on and people be fine with it. But I would imagine for like professional environments, being a cartoon character would end up in the awkward "I am not a cat" scenario. But I do see this having tons of potential. Obviously, there have been other basic, and there are other basic, face tracking solutions that don't need anything fancy, but improving it and GPU accelerating it and whatever is always a good thing. And then they have a third technology that is the one they advertised last time, which is actually using AI to improve effectively the video compression. And what it's actually doing here is it's taking a still image and, sending that over, because it can do that for a single frame without costing bandwidth, and then using AI on your end to detect what parts are actually moving, and then using that to either regenerate the frame using the AI or only update that frame with the data. And so you get some weird, like, deep fake kind of artifacts at points, but the end result ends up being very impressive, because instead of actually compressing the video in real time and sending that compressed video stream over what is a ridiculously compressed feed, especially over mobile networks or whatever, it's generating it separate from the actual video source. And so we can end up with some weird scenario, guys. Some weird scenarios. I don't know why I said guys. I think I was reading Hardline saying the lawyer guy. We can end up with some weird scenarios and some weird uncanny valley stuff. And like I said, you might end up with some weird deepfake artifacts as a result. But effectively, you are able to generate video from a still image by tracking the movement rather than compressing the video itself, and get far better results. And so these innovations are primarily targeted at video calling and conferencing, which is what they're targeting at here. But I really think the implications for other forms of use can be really cool here. And I could actually see, in a, speaking of like deepfake kind of way, combining all three of these things to then create all sorts of new stuff. So if you've seen the the memes people were posting for a little while, where you take an old painting or something and then they make them start dancing to a song and the whole head starts moving and bobbing and stuff like that, you can kind of do stuff like this. So between the AI avatar stuff, where it's tracking your face and applying that to a digital sculpture, between that, the adjustment of your position detection, and then using AI to generate a frame without needing the actual video to be compressed, you could effectively get better deepfakes for a video call. I don't think this would replace motion video where the camera is moving around the subject a whole lot, but it would replace, like, we may see scenarios, which this is the dark side of it, but where you have video calls where someone is faking who they are, because you could theoretically, now this is way off in the future, I'm not saying this is inherently causing problems, but like we could see a combination of these put together to where I could take a picture of, say, I could take a picture of Linus and have the AI translating my face to Linus and me become Linus with a bit better results than like the deep faking stuff they did, because it's a video call, so you're not looking for all of the different like clues that it might be fake or whatever. So lots of weird stuff could come from this, but I don't think, like, for now, I think the innovation here could be absolutely massive.